So we're going to review a wide range of omega-3 products we have at Whole Foods Market. Not all omega-3 products are the same. So one of the myths that I think a lot of people deal with that is when we talk about omega-3, when we ask them, do you take any omega-3 supplement? They respond to us that, oh yeah, we will get our omega-3 by eating walnut and flaxseed. But we have to know that walnut and flaxseed contains short-chain omega-3 fatty acid. But what we are looking for is long-chain omega-3 fatty acid that is coming from algae, fish, and krill. So we're going to talk more about different types of product here. The first type of omega-3 product you can find at Whole Foods Market are the liquid type of omega-3, long-chain omega-3, and mostly are from fish oil. And so when you take a look at the supplement fact, one thing that is really important is to see how much is the EPA, DHA, two main types of long-chain omega-3 fatty acid they contain. And one of the tricky part is that if they contain high amount of EPA, DHA, this is a good sign that they are concentrated format of omega-3. So we have to take a look at other actually information on the label to see if it's true or not. So as you see here, it said includes EPA, DHA, and other omega-3s in triglyceride from RTG. So RTG means re-esterified triglyceride. So that's 100% evidence that oil has gone through a really harsh processing condition. I would talk about the processing behind that kind of omega-3 oil. But for now, that's a good sign. And then the other thing that I noticed that when you take a look at other ingredients in the liquid form of omega-3, long-chain omega-3, normally you see natural flavor. And as we explained about natural flavor a lot before, natural flavor itself can contain more than 100 chemicals, emulsifiers and additives. So they formulate together, but they don't need to disclose the ingredient. And they can actually claim it as natural flavor as one single ingredient in other ingredient list. And then this is unevitable for that kind of oil because it has a fishy taste. And in order to mask that fishy taste, we have to, or they have to basically cover it with flavor. But unfortunately, most often they are using natural flavor, which is basically synthetic flavor. So to finalize that, the first type of omega-3 are liquid form. So always take a look at the other ingredient part to see if there is natural flavor inside or not. And also take a look at the amount of EPA, DHA. If you see some word like distillation or RTG, they are highly processed. And in my point of view, we don't need to deal with that kind of highly processed EPA, DHA, which that form doesn't exist in nature. And our body might have some difficulties in terms of actually digestion and dealing with that product. The second type of long-chain omega-3 product that you can find everywhere, including Whole Foods Market, are soft gels. So, and also at the same time, you might be able to find highly concentrated or highly processed type of long-chain omega-3 inside the soft gel. One of the ingredients that pretty often you can see in all of the soft gel is a glycerin that is not basically a food ingredient, is something synthetic, and it doesn't have any nutritional value. And since they have to add water inside the soft gel, and then water is going to increase the chance of microbial growth, so they have to use glycerin to just make sure that they have a longer shelf life. But there are other ways to increase the shelf stability of this kind of product without adding water and glycerin. But that's what you can see in most of the soft gels containing long-chain omega-3 fatty acid everywhere. And again, always take a look at the supplement fact of this kind of product. As you see here, this is a good example. The first thing that we have to take a look at is the amount of EPA DHA. If it's high, so we have to look for other signs to see if they are highly processed or concentrated or not. And as you can see here, it's mentioned that in the ingredient list, it said concentrated omega-3 ethyl ester. This is one of the highly processed, actually, omega-3. Ethyl ester form of EPA DHA. We have a pretty well established, actually, information in the scientific literature that ethyl ester form of omega-3, long-chain omega-3, they definitely have much lower bioavailability as compared to the natural form of omega-3. And that esterified form doesn't exist in nature. And the question is why we have to deal with synthetic or esterified form of omega-3. And then the other issue is that when we do the modification and concentration, basically we try to get rid of other naturally occurring co-nutrient that exists in the fish oil that helps for better bioavailability and also increasing the oxidative stability of the product. And by just doing so, for the sake of just increasing the amount of EPA DHA, we ruin the whole structure of natural omega-3. We reduce the oxidative stability, we reduce the bioavailability of them. And all is just because of that myth that always the higher number of the or higher content of EPA DHA is better. But based on the literature and the information that's out there in peer-reviewed scientific papers, is not always the case. So be super careful. If I'm going to conclude that part, soft gels mainly contain glycerin. We don't need to expose our body with that. And also, still, there is a good chance of using highly processed or highly concentrated version of omega-3, either in the form of ethyl ester or in form of RTG or re-esterified triglyceride. So be super careful with that. The other types of omega-3 product in the market are algae-based omega-3, long-chain omega-3, which is basically plant-based and vegan for vegan and vegetarians. And the good things for that kind of oil as compared to the fish oil especially is that they haven't gone under harsh processing of increasing the concentration of EPA DHA. So mainly that form that you can find are unconcentrated version, but most of them, they don't have any naturally occurring nutrient or co-nutrient in the product. So one of the signs that you can find in most of the omega-3 oils, either in format of soft gel or liquid, when you see that the oil is really transparent and yellowish color, so that's a good sign that they are basically, they don't have naturally occurring nutrient inside them. So because of the refining or because of the intrinsic of the oil, it doesn't actually, they don't have that. But there are some other source of algae for omega-3, long-chain omega-3, that they have that source of naturally occurring nutrient, which makes the oil much darker. And that's a good sign for that kind of product if you're looking for minimally processed omega-3. So far, we covered fish oil that you can find in unconcentrated and concentrated version. And we talked about krill oil, which is a better version of actually omega-3, long-chain omega-3, especially in terms of EPA DHA, because they haven't been modified that much. And also it contains polar lipid and astaxanthin as a pigment that have impact on our health in increasing the bioavailability of long-chain omega-3 fatty acid and also increasing the oxidative stability of the oil, which are all animal-based. And then we talk about the plant-based from algae, but most of the algae-based omega-3 in the market, they don't have that naturally occurring nutrient. Now we've got to the most exciting part of this video, which I'm about to introduce you a unique type of plant-based or vegan a long chain omega-3. Exists in the US market, but you cannot find it at Whole Foods. Hopefully at some point we can bring it to Whole Foods as well. So as a person who's been obsessed with whole food concept and minimally processed, when we actually developed that, we noticed that it has a uniqueness as compared to all, and basically it contains all of the uniqueness of other products. For example, in fish oil itself that is unconcentrated, we do have some naturally occurring nutrient in there. And also when you go to the krill oil, the polar lipid presence is going to be additional health impact. But the fish and krill oil are animal source. Vegetarian and vegans cannot use that. So the oil that the product that I'm gonna actually introduce you is Eat Intact Omega-3. So it has a lot of uniqueness, as I told you. So that oil contains EPA that is coming from actually an unconcentrated and unrefined version of EPA from algae. And it contains, as you see here, high amount of polar lipid, which is one of the highest among algae-based products in the US market, which makes it actually eligible to be used as krill oil alternative and also fish oil alternative. And it has DHA, which is refined but still unconcentrated version of this fatty acid. And not only polar lipid, but also it contains SPM, plasmalogen, and pigments and carotenoids, and a lot of naturally occurring actually ingredient and nutrient in there. And as you see, it's not soft gel. It doesn't have glycerin, and it just contains mixed tocopherol and ascorbic palmitate as antioxidant. So when you take a look at the appearance of the capsule, that's another good sign to see if that actually product has naturally occurring nutrient or not. The capsule is transparent, but the darkness is coming from the darkness of the oil itself. So it's really unique. And as I mentioned, this product is available in our website and also in our Amazon store. So feel free to try that product. It's risk-free, 30 days free return, no question asked. And we are here to help you to identify the best omega-3 based on your needs. And hopefully you can use it and enjoy it and give us feedback. Thank you.